Meeting is called back to order, please. Thank you. Actions taken in closed session, Trustee Pendergast.
Two actions in closed session. On a 6-0 vote, the board took action in closed session to deny an employee's appeal of an administrative determination of disability discrimination and retaliation. On a 6-0 vote, the board took action in closed session to release a classified administrator pursuant to Education Code Section 72411.5 and has authorized the chancellor or designee to take all steps necessary to effect the decision.
Okay, thank you. We will now have the invocation led by Trustee Rydell and the Pledge of Allegiance led by me.
Good evening, everyone. As we begin tonight's meeting, let us take a moment to recognize and thank our dedicated faculty and classified employees. Your consistent hard work, commitment, and professionalism put students first every day and make our district leadership and institution shine. May we carry out that same dedication in tonight's discussions and decisions this evening and working together for the benefit of our students and community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have one public comment. Carmen Mara, please.
Good evening, Chancellor, Board of Trustees, colleagues, and the Sarva College family. In time of strife, like we are today, I am honored to share with you a positive and wonderful Irvine Valley College Puente program. My name is Carmen Mara Hernandez Bravo. I'm a Spanish professor at Sarva College for the last 36 years, and I am a proud mentor of the Puente program at IVC. The Puente program is an academic, counseling, and mentoring program that has improved college persistence and success in the California educational underserved student. The Puente program mission is to increase the number of community college students who transfer and enroll in four-year collegiate university, earn college degrees, return to the community to be mentored. And IVC, thanks to the support of the Puente family, all the classified employees, Ruby Patrana, Counseling Puente Program and Coordinator, and our gem professor of English for the last many years, Lisa Alvarez. Professor Lisa Alvarez, an English professor at IVC, has been a gem for decades. Now, a little bit about the program. The cohort 5, current cohort, consists of 28 students. The program have had over 120 IVC Puente students, including all the students who got transferred and currently enrolled. Approximately 40 to 50 annual events they have for this cohort program. They have also visited many universities around us, College University, UCR, all the UC systems they are going to visit in this semester, Cal State Pomona, Northridge, Berkeley, Davis, UCSB, and SJSU. Annually collaborate and assist with Dia de los Muertos, a Latinx heritage celebration. I have a lot of information about this program. 2 minutes already?
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to share with you and send you all the students. Okay. All the students, beautiful letters they wrote about this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. is now time for oral reports, and we remind all speakers that they are to be 2 minutes or less. Let's start with Board of Trustees, Trustee Milchiker.
Okay. Pell Grants are one of the most effective tools for helping low-income students access higher education. They are need-based, don't require repayment, and have helped millions achieve strong economic futures. Today's workforce has evolved, and many high-demand jobs require short, targeted training to fill critical gaps and keep our country thriving. That's why the new Workforce Pell Grants represent an exciting new opportunity for our students. Officially, it will be launching on July 1st, 2026. This program extends Pell eligibility to short-term career-focused programs from a minimum of 8 weeks up to 15 weeks. Community colleges like ours are perfectly positioned to lead. We're deeply connected to local employers. We already train nurses, technicians, IT specialists, and skilled workers that our regions need. Workforce Pels include strong safeguards. Programs must show high completion and unemployment rates, align in high-demand regional jobs, and deliver real earnings outcome. Unlike traditional Pell, which is for undergraduates only, Workforce Pell opens access to any student, even if they're a college graduate. Any student who could benefit, including college graduates. It covers both credit and non-credit classes. Crucially, these programs must be stackable, which means they create clear pathways to higher credentials, better wages, and long-term advancement. For instance, a student could start in phlebotomy, move up to medical technology, and become nursing without any repeated training. The state governors will play a central role in approving these programs, ensuring alignment with local needs. It's an exciting chance to expand access to high-quality, employer-driven short-term training. Both colleges are actively exploring programs to participate and broaden workforce educational opportunities. And we look forward to the guidelines coming forward to bringing these benefits to our students and our community. Thanks.
Thank you. Trustee Bartlett.
Thank you, Madam President. Since our last board meeting, I've had the pleasure of attending on January 23rd through 27th, the CCLC Conference and Legislative Conference in Sacramento, where we discussed in our many breakout sessions state budget and impacts to community colleges, student center funding formula, Pell and other grants, the 50% rule that could be changed via legislation, student success strategies, and removing systemic barriers. Also, the importance of community colleges' role relative to the dual enrollment programs, adding more baccalaureate programs with a goal of 200 programs statewide by 2030. Increased funding for paid apprenticeships and internships to ready students for the workforce, and much more. We also met with our state legislators to present and discuss our district priorities. Very productive and time well spent. And then February 7th through 11th, we were in Washington, D.C., freezing cold, but very productive there, at the ACCT conference, where we attended key sessions that addressed Pell and Workforce Pell and the need to have these tax-free for the students, federal funding for critical programs for community colleges, and the need to fully fund these programs in 2026 and beyond. Also discussed effective board governance, roles and responsibilities, and much more. We also met with our federal legislators and had productive meetings that covered numerous topics from economic and workforce development, job readiness and apprenticeship opportunities. Again, time well spent. February 19th, I attended the Saddleback College Foundation board meeting. And February 20th, I presented at the Excel Academy to this year's cohort alongside President Inman and Dr. Letitia Clark. Our presentations were well received, and the Q&A afterwards was especially interesting and very interactive. That concludes my board comments.
Thank you very much. Trustee Dack.
No report.
Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, so like most of us attended the two conferences, one in Sacramento, one in DC. In Sacramento, a couple of the sessions I attended, learned some very interesting information that I shared with the chancellor about we need to maybe do a little better job of marketing the exemptions to SNAP and Medicaid work requirements, that if they take college classes, they can be waived from the work requirements, and we're better to go than us. So we could start doing that, as well as I attended a session where they were dealing with some districts where the part-time faculty have been latched onto a lawsuit about being paid hourly instead of workload, and then they find out that that's not a good idea because now they have to do punch cards and time cards like they're like a labor force, and it's just different. But I've been assured that we're safe in that. In DC, well, actually in Sacramento, I found out about another thing where the FAA, there's only one place in the country to get air traffic controller license, and that's in Oklahoma. So the FAA is reaching out to community colleges to start FAA air traffic controller programs to help fill the need. And there were some colleges listed in California, and we weren't on that list. And I thought, what better place to do it this close to Orange County? So I gave the information to the chancellor to see if maybe we could do something out of ATEP or one of the two campuses there. Also in DC, talked about HSI, ANAPESI, and MSI support from people. Meeting with the Department of Ed, we met with the Undersecretary's advisor, who was a former Marine, and he was really excited about trying to help make credit available for prior work. Met with Padilla and Schiff in a big group meeting, and that was worthless. And last, happy Year of the Horse, and Shinian Kwaila and Chukmung Namoy.
Thank you.
Right.
Trustee Rydell, I'm sorry, Trustee Jamal.
Thank you. Did you just say worthless?
Yeah, it was a big group of people that just sat there and listened to them talk about
All right.
how they're battling Trump.
All right. Short report tonight. I did go to Sacramento. I did not attend the conference, but I attended the legislative meetings. I think they were okay. I think it was good to meet with them. I think we underestimate our power as a community college district and community colleges in general in the state of California. And I think we can attain some of our priorities perhaps that we have not been able to attain in years past with a little bit more energy and commitment to moving things in Sacramento. And I think we have the infrastructure in place to do it. And I think when in every meeting we attended with the legislator, the staff, there's some connection to community college. So I think that the human component of policymaking, I would not underestimate that. I think it's really valuable. So, but overall, I thought it was a solid visit to Sacramento. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Rydell?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to support the many positive comments from Trustee Bartlett regarding our participation at the legislative conference in DC. Now, think about this. Letters to our legislators are important, but face-to-face meetings and making a personal connection is paramount. I think we all gave our congressmen and congresswomen a personal connection to Saddleback and to IVC's needs to make our colleges and career education accessible to all, to enhance our economic and workforce development while supporting institutional needs of all of our students. I felt that we really touched them. I'd like you to know that tomorrow I'll be attending an AI-focused webinar, and it's supported by the Chancellor's Office. The webinar will share practical examples how AI enhances student support across California community colleges and the updates that we can get from the Chancellor's desk. I am interested in seeing how Mendocino College uses automative tech help workflows to reduce staff burden, improve response time, and scale support across their campus. I am looking forward to the examples that they share, and if I have time, I will report back to you because I am very concerned about staff burdens and how AI can improve all that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I went to both of those conferences as well and legislative days, and it's just very enlightening to be able to listen to what they have to say and to present our ideas. And I agree with Trustee Jamal. I think that it's more important than we sometimes think. What I really liked this last time, however, was with Trustee Bartlett and Dr. Clark to present at the Excel Academy. We have so many incredible people that work here, and do such a good job. And they were very excited about us sharing our little stories and talking about leadership and so forth. And it was just very nice. I really liked it. So anyway, that's all for me. Trustee Leonard?
I just wanted to invite everyone on Monday, March 9th at the Aliso Viejo Country Club. The first annual Vets Golf Tournament will be taking place. Registration is at 8:30. There will be a putting contest, a shotgun scramble, and conclude with a dinner. All proceeds go to the Student Vet Center and increase chances for success for our student veterans. That is all. Thank you. Hope to see you there.
Thank you. Associated Student Government, Saddleback College, Noah Aguilar.
There we go. Hello, board. Amazing to see you all again. So much has happened since the last time I've seen you all. I am pleased to report that ASG has successfully finalized the planning of our first card meet happening on March 27, 2026. We will be providing burger and boba drinks to the first 100 people that show up, and hopefully are expecting about 1,000 people if all goes well. Originally, it was only planned for Saddleback students, but we were able to get approval for outside vendors as well, so that increased the number of participants. Simultaneously, we are in the midst of our ASG elections, where new student leaders are stepping forward and campaigning for positions going into next academic year. And looking ahead, we are also in the active planning stages for the ASAC conference in Washington, D.C., where myself and 9 other student representatives will advocate for student interests at the federal level. ASG is looking forward to an amazing spring semester, and I cannot wait to see all that is to come. Thank you, guys. That is all for my report.
Thank you. Associated Student Government from IVC, Maba Ahmad.
Thank you. Greeting members of the board. The first thing I'm going to go to start with my report is talk about elections. Our elections committee has led info sessions and done candidate orientations. And now the campaigning period has begun today and will go on till Friday. The ballot opens on Wednesday, will go on till Friday. I have a personal announcement to make on that regard. I'm going to be running for student trustee, so I may be sitting amongst you guys next academic year. So just wanted to put that out there. Alongside that, the bylaws committee, which I was chairing, has put our new bylaw changes onto the ballot. So hopefully if those get voted yes, we should have a lot of changes in. Some changes I wanted to highlight was would be adding a director of sustainability and a director of events. The sustainability addition we thought was in line with the Inspire 2035 initiative. And then alongside that, we just updated a lot of our processes that we believed was outdated or we just needed to increase productivity within the organization. A personal highlight I wanted to make was adding some protections for students who may be on board with other students who have violated or have any kind of affiliation with Title IX violations. So that was my initiative that I put forth within that committee, make sure that students are feeling protected and things are known within ASIVC. Alongside that, we had a fundraiser led by ASIVC, which was called the Sweetheart Sale, and ASIVC students sold handmade flowers to students, and we are continuing our Seas Candy initiative. Club Day was also a success. We had 75 plus clubs spread across the SSC quad, which was amazing. We're working on a new club allocation process to increase its accessibility, convenience, something that is more cost efficient and just faster. That is all for my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Saddleback Academic Senate, Frank Gonzalez.
Hello, board. Thank you. I'll be quick. A couple weeks ago it was announced that phase 3 of the Common Course numbering was going to be paused until so we can work out articulation as it was supposed to happen previously with the Cal States and the UCs, so that every college isn't having to re-articulate as happened with phase 1 and phase 2. So I think that that's great for our students. It's great for our colleagues. Nominations are open for the Academic Senate executive team. And so we'll have some new faces, but not this face. I'll still be here for 2 more years after. So sorry to excite you all. And then last but not least, I wanted to thank Kimberly Stankovich in Communications Department and Kim DRC, who do a lot of our professional development. Especially, we have a lot of professional development coming up, especially on AI and the new ADA Title II requirements, which are quickly approaching. And that is all.
Thank you. Academic Senate from Irvine Valley, Rebecca Beck.
Hi, good evening, all. It's good to see you. This evening, my main thought that I wanted to share with you is to give a shout out to my colleague Amanda Romero. She is one of our counseling faculty. As all of you recall from being present at Dr. Hernandez's president session, she was the one interviewing the student panel. And she's also the faculty who's leading the work for the strategic enrollment management. If I could pronounce it, that would be fabulous. Strategic Enrollment Management Program, excuse me. But anyway, I wanted to share the work Amanda's doing in also concert with Dr. Rosa Prado, who is our director for EOPS, because I think it's a transformational piece of work that we're doing at IVC, because we are leading the campus into an institutional shift of not just being a transfer college, but also being a college that works with our adult learners. And that, to me, I've been at IVC for 15 years, and that, to me, is one of the biggest shifts we've had as a college. Because, again, that takes a lot of reflecting and understanding how our processes are designed for what we call the traditional, and I even put that on quotes, because everyone is a student, right? We're all traditional students in our own way. But this time we're looking at the students who are 25 years and older and really looking under the hood are all the processes that we do from the student journey to instruction, and how do we serve that student population better? Because these are students who have different responsibilities, they have different ways of navigating college. They bring a wealth of cultural knowledge, not just for the lives that they have lived, but the lives that they have lived for the people around them that we have to take into account. So again, I wanted to bring that up because you got to see a little bit of that when Dr. Hernandez presented, but now we continue to do that work and how we're trying to embed it within the fabric of the college. So thanks.
Thank you. Faculty Association, Robert Melendez.
Yes, thank you, and good evening. Tonight, I have the pleasure of recognizing Lisa Alvarez for her 33 years of wonderful teaching and work within our district here at South Orange County. Lisa was an advocate and is an advocate in a true sense of the word. For 3 decades, she embodied our mission as educators, to not simply that of teaching students, but also educating and supporting them in ways that shape their lives long after they leave our classrooms. She reminds us what education is truly for, to give the students the tools to question, to challenge, and to engage in the hard, disciplined work of thinking that freedom requires. Lisa's impact on IVC and the district around shared governance and academic freedom is unmatched. Her leadership has never been about position, only that about purpose. She played a central role in reforming the Faculty Association, strengthening its voice and structure for faculty representation. In Academic Senate, she served with integrity and steadiness during very difficult and challenging years and never wavered against what seemed like unsurmountable odds. To say that IVC would be a much different college without her is an understatement. Through her work with the EAR, Dissent, and the Puente program, her active engagement in working with students, social justice, speaking truth to power, and allowing all voices to be heard helped create spaces where faculty and students not only found support and belonging, but voice and empowerment. As Louis Long, a colleague, put it, Lisa is a quiet tidal wave of power to make the world better. We are stronger because of her, our students are stronger because of her, and IVC and the district's growth and integrity bear her imprint. Thank you, Lisa, for your 33 years.
Thank you. What a beautiful tribute. Thank you very much. Irvine Valley College Classified Senate, Zoraida Quiroz.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Chancellor Barnes. The Classified Senate continues to foster meaningful engagement and professional growth for classified professionals across campus. Over the past month, we have successfully hosted impactful programming aligned with our IVC Inspire 2035. Today, the Professional Development Committee hosted Leadership Plus workshop, part of our ongoing Lunch and Learn professional development series. The workshop featured roundtable discussions that center on three key focus areas: time management, innovation, and networking. We were honored to welcome insights and perspectives from Chancellor Barnes, Dr. Castellanos, and Rebecca Beck, whose contributions encouraged thoughtful dialogue. Special shout out to our professional development co-chairs Diana Baltzar and Erica Lehman. On February 11th, the Classified Senate hosted You Deserve This, a wellness workshop for classified professionals. This session offered a radical and restorative approach to wellness, intentionally centering the life experiences, challenges, and resilience of classified professionals. Participants were encouraged to reflect, reset, and prioritize their well-being in sustainable and informing ways. Shout out to Dr. Silvia Torres Mendoza and Coral Barrera in planning this event. These workshops reaffirmed the Senate's commitment to supporting not only the professional development of classified staff, but also their personal wellness and sense of belonging within our campus community. We are in the final planning stages for Classified Day. The invites will be going out at the end of this week. We encourage all classified professionals throughout the district to participate in this year's Classified Day with our theme of rest. We are proud of the continued engagement and collaboration demonstrated this past month, and we look forward to building upon this momentum throughout future programming and advocacy. Thank you.
Thank you. Saddleback College Classified Senate, Georgina Martinez.
Good evening, Chancellor Barnes and board members. Vice Chancellor Chris McDonald was a special guest at Classified Senate General Body meeting in February. He updated us and answered questions regarding Banner and how the district is moving forward with implementation. We also had a Caring Campus event celebrating Saddleback's history as being the sweetheart of South Orange County. We used the event to reinforce Caring Campus behaviors while enjoying Valentine's Day goodies and interacting with Blaze the Bobcat. Currently, we are ordering Classified Senate shirts that celebrate first-generation college students. Also, we are working with Classified Senate at IVC to plan Classified Senate PD Day and invite all classified professionals to join us. In addition to these Classified Senate activities, I would like to recognize the classified employees of the Office of Financial Aid at Saddleback College: Annabelle Acosta, Tina Deng, Brenda Guerrero Aguilera, Diana Lopez, Donata Senda, Stacy Schaefer, Claire Tracy, Fong Vu, Violetta Zahri. They go above and beyond every day to help students. Especially this past academic year, they have worked countless hours manually inputting information and reinstating financial aid when our systems did not transition as planned. I want to thank them for their time, effort, and dedication to the college, as well as to the success of our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Classified School Employees Association, Desiree Ortiz.
Thank you and good evening. As we approach International Women's Day, I want to take a moment to acknowledge and express heartfelt appreciation for all the incredible women across the South Orange County Community College District. Every day, women throughout our district bring their authenticity, professionalism, and dedication to make our campuses vibrant, compassionate, and thriving learning environments. These remarkable women are classified professionals, faculty, managers, administrators, and trustees consistently show up with purpose and integrity. They create spaces of support and inclusion for our students and colleagues, even while balancing full and active lives beyond work. Many are mothers, grandmothers, stepmothers, wives, partners, daughters, friends, caregivers, and community leaders. They carry multiple roles with grace and pride, giving their best both in and outside the district. Today and always, we want to celebrate you. You are leaders, advocates, and change makers who represent our district with care, strength, and excellence. I'm deeply proud to serve alongside such dedicated women and grateful for the encouragement and collaboration you inspire within our community. I myself identify as a mother, wife, daughter, friend, grandmother, aunt, room parent, board member, committee chair, colleague, and student. I understand the balance many of us strive to maintain. It's not always easy, but your unwavering commitment makes a difference every single day. Thank all of you for all that you do, for who you are, and for the light you bring to our district and beyond.
Thank you. Police Officers Association, Lance Christensen.
No report at this time.
Okay, thank you. We are now at Board Agenda Item 5.1, SOCCCD Public Hearing to enter into a grant of easement with Cox Communications California LLC for Advantech Corporation North America Campus at the Advanced Technology and Education Park. Before we have the public hearing, Vice Chancellor Anne Marie Gable, will you have an introduction, please?
Thank you, President Inman. The agenda item allows the public to provide the board with comments and input before the board considers approval of granting an easement with Cox Communication California LLC for utility purposes at Advantech Corporation's North American campus at ATEP. If you have any questions throughout this public hearing process this evening, both Madhani Ephraim and I are here to assist.
Okay. Board Item 5.1, public hearing on the matter at hand is now open. Comments are not to exceed 5 minutes. Is there, just a second. Does the board have any questions to staff to assist with their understanding of this matter? Is that a? No. Anybody? Okay. Were there any comments from the audience? I didn't get that quite right. Okay, so the public hearing would now be closed. Is there any further discussion on this matter by the board? 5.1 is concluded. We will now move on to item 5.2, the board's approval of resolution number 2607, which approves entering into the grant of easement over a portion of ATEP for utility purposes. Can we have a motion,
So
please?
moved.
Who moved? It was moved by Trustee Jamal and seconded by Trustee Prendergast. We can now vote. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student trustee also voting advisory position. Okay. We will now move on to, sorry. We are now at Board Agenda Item 5.3, SOC Public Hearing to enter into a grant of easement with Southern California Edison Company for Advantech Corporation North American Campus at the ATEP site. Before we have the public hearing, Vice Chancellor Anne Marie Gable will provide an introduction.
Thank you, President Inman. The agenda item allows the public to provide the board with comments and input before the board considers approval of granting an easement with Southern California Edison Company for utility purposes at Advantech Corporation's North American campus at ATEP. If you have any questions throughout this public hearing process this evening, both Madhani Ephraim and I are here to assist.
Board Item 5.3, public hearing on the matter at hand is now open. Are there any comments from the public? Okay. Does the board have any questions to staff to assist with their understanding of this matter? Okay.
Right here.
I just have a quick question. Was there a need to have any legal counsel on this? I don't think so.
We had legal counsel involved in drafting the
Drafting it?
resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the board? Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Okay, 5.3 is concluded. We will now move to 5.4, the board's approval of resolution number 2608.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved by Trustee Jamal and seconded by Trustee Rydell. Is there any other discussion or questions? Okay, let's vote, please. The motion carries by a 7-0 vote with student trustee advisory vote of yes as well. Okay, just a moment. We now have resolutions. Item 6, trustee Prendergast, would you read the resolution, please?
A resolution recognizing Women's History Month. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and whereas women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. Therefore, be it resolved that the South Orange County Community College District Board of Trustees designates March as Women's History Month and requests that the faculty, staff, administrators, and students of the South Orange County Community College District observe March as Women's History Month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. I'll have a motion and a second.
So moved.
It has been moved by trustee Jamal and seconded by trustee Rydell that we accept the resolution. Let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student trustee voting in an advisory capacity as well. Okay, we are now to item 7, Board of Trustees and the Chancellor. 7.1, the Board Policy Revision for Approval. Do we have a motion? I have a question. We have to have the motion first, please.
I'll move it. So moved.
Okay. It's been moved by trustee Jamal and seconded by trustee Prendergast. Now it's open for discussion. Trustee Rydell.
Thank you, Madam President. I would just like to know on Board Policy 7110, Delegation of Authority for Employment. I'd just like to know why the first sentence was deleted. If you look at it, 7110. The board authorizes all employment and all the employment transactions per California Ed Code.
It was deleted because the board has delegated that authority to the chancellor in the board policy of delegation authority to the chancellor.
It was important before that we said this. So I see the next sentence says board delegates authority to the chancellor. I understand that. But I don't, are those, is that sentence taking over the board's authority for employment of all employment transactions per
No,
California code?
what it's doing is the chancellor has the authority to authorize the employment and all the other duties that are listed there. Everything comes back to the board for ratification. So the board is still taking action on a monthly basis of all the employment actions, but it's just allowing the chancellor to go ahead and make that offer so that way employees can start before the next board meeting.
Okay, can I just ask that maybe this can go back to the committee, that they can somehow include California Education Code in this?
I think that that's out of order. We discussed them a month ago, and now I think our job is primarily to vote yes or no.
Oh.
No?
We can always
You can always send it back.
send it back.
Okay.
But I think it, if I may, it references the California Education Code at the bottom. So I think that's what covers it, in that it's, the
Okay.
code delineates what we're doing and allows for that to be stricken out. If I'm, is that what I'm reading?
Yes.
Okay, that would be fine. Somehow I just didn't see that italicized stuff.
You know, and just for clarification too, so again, like many things, the board delegates authority to the chancellor for the operations of the district and the colleges, but the board has the ultimate kind of ratification and approval. So this kind of just cleans it up as well, the
Okay.
language here.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Okay. Then we will be, let's see, we have the motion, right? Jamal and Prendergast. So let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student advisory vote of yes as well. Okay, number 8 is presentations, and there are not any this evening. Number 9 is the consent calendar. Can we have a motion?
I have a poll,
Okay, yes, please.
9.14.
9.14. All right. Are there any other polls?
Yes,
Here, and then I'll go this direction.
Okay.
Rydell?
I have a question about 9.6, but it's also, again, in the
Well-
tens, but I just have a question to ask for
Well,
9.6.
we'll just pull.
Pull it.
That's what we have to do. Okay. Trustee Bartlett?
Thank you, Madam President. Pulling 9.9.
Yeah, I do too.
9.9. Just a second. Trustee Bartlett?
Trustee Milchiker, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling 9.3 and 9.5.
Okay. Any more? All right. Let's have a motion.
Motion for the balance of the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Trustee Prendergast and seconded by Trustee Bartlett to approve the rest of the calendar. The motion carries 7-0 with student trustee also voting yes. Okay, so consent calendar 9.3, Trustee Milchiker.
I have some comments and a question. First of all, they mentioned that it's student out-of-state travel. Our student vets are traveling to DC, and I think that's wonderful. It says that 2 student clubs are going. Is that both? It mentioned the IVC. It mentioned Saddleback, but not IVC. Is that this IVC clubs that's going as well? I imagine that both of the organizations are going, but it doesn't.
Yes, the first grouping that is listed is for IVC, and then the second grouping is for Saddleback.
Yeah, it did say Saddleback, but it wasn't designated for IVC, so I was sure it was. I just want to say it's wonderful to have our students' voices heard and to build the professional networks. And it's really helpful to have student trustees attend, meet with the legislators, as we found out in Washington DC and certainly Sacramento. The legislators love hearing voices, and I can't blame them. It's wonderful that our students are visiting the historically black colleges, and the Saddleback debate team is going to the National Forensic Tournament, and the Psychology Club is going to the Western Psychology Conference, and I just want to mention the geology field study trip, which is June 11th to 20th in Colorado, is only $225 per student, and it's open to everyone. And I'm thinking about it, so just think about that, okay? So I move approval of this agenda item.
We vote each one separately, right?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, can we have a motion for this
Move, so
9.3?
And I'll second.
Okay, it has been moved by Trustee Milchiker and seconded by Trustee Bartlett. Vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student trustee voting yes as well. 9.5, Trustee Milchiker.
Just mentioning about the dual enrollment, I'm really delighted that we're entering into a dual enrollment with Saddleback Valley Unified School District, where all 3 of my sons attended from kindergarten through high school. And it's really a fabulous opportunity for students. My sons did not have this opportunity because that was prior to initiating the dual enrollment program. But just want to say I'm delighted that we are initiating this program. So I move approval.
Second.
It has been moved by Trustee Milchiker and seconded by Trustee Bartlett. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student trustee voting yes. 9.6, Trustee Rydell.
Yes, I have a question for Vice Chancellor Gable. We're going to be talking a lot about reviewing about the non-resident students, et cetera. Can you tell me how many we have this semester, or about average, what do we have a semester for non-residents?
I'm going to go off of memory here. I think we're around 1,400 FTES for non-residents.
Ooh. Wow, I didn't
Here,
expect
give
that.
me a moment. I can try to find it real quick.
About-
As of our 25-26 P1, so 1,400 was for 24-25. So I wasn't misremembering that number, but for 25-26, we've grown tremendously since then. So we're currently at 1,854 FTEs.
Wow. Okay, for my understanding, when I was reading this, I was thinking I ask you, so we have non-residents, okay, status, and then we have international students up here. Are they different? Or are they all under non-resident?
International students are reflected in the
They're in their own group.
non-resident FTEs.
Yeah, I understand they're different, but, and is that a large number that we have?
Of international
Yeah.
students. I don't have that differentiation. I'd look to the college presidents to see if they have it. The non-resident number that I quoted you, that is reported on our 320 report. It's the FTES report that we present to the chancellor's office. That includes both international students as well as all other non-residents, non-California residents, I would say.
Okay, but there's not as many, obviously, for international.
It's, both of the programs have been growing tremendously. I don't, college presidents, do you know your international FTES numbers?
I'm in the 300 neighborhood,
Really?
380. Good work.
Okay.
380, we're going up.
Wow. Yeah. But they have a higher rate.
Nope, non-resident's non-resident. Whether
Okay.
it's someone from another state or someone from another nation, they pay non-resident.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear on that, because in 10, we talk a lot about that, and I just wanted the numbers, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Do we have the motion and second?
I so move.
I'm sorry, which one? Okay, it has been moved by trustee Rydell and seconded by trustee Milchiker. Any other discussion? Let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student trustee voting yes. 9.9, trustee Bartlett.
Thank you, Madam President. So on this item relative to change orders, on Exhibit A, page 10 of 11, about 2/3 of the way down, there are two entries. One is for PO number 0001087 for Rise Now LLC. That has to do with the change order for $75,000. Amendment number 4 to extend the contract for the Jagger implementation services. Is this something that's an ongoing with change orders through the end of the contract date in 2027?
So the reason that we have this particular change order is really we added scope. So Jagger is our purchasing and contract system that we are utilizing that feeds into our Banner ERP system.
Okay.
So we've been under the implementation, and as we're going through the implementation, we're discovering that we need additional features. I think this particular change order is hopefully going to allow us to convert what we call punch-out purchase orders. So a punch-out purchase order is like with Amazon Services and Office Depot, where the employees can go through the system directly to those entities to get, order their products, and then those products are delivered automatically. So that's kind of why we call it a punch-out. This integration that that we have the amendment for is to convert those purchase requisitions into the invoices that will automatically feed into Banner, because right now, we had that capability with Workday. We don't have that capability with Banner or Jagger at the moment, so we're trying to get that functionality back to help the accounts payable staff so that they're not having to enter every single
Manually.
purchase order manually.
Yep, totally get that. Okay. Thank you for the explanation. That was what was missing, so I wanted to connect the dots there. And then the next one has to do with Forelli, which is a $93,600 change order. I just wanted to make sure, it's amendment number 5, are we almost through with the post-implementation portion for Banner support? I mean, we're at $3 million now on this particular contract.
I will allow Vice Chancellor McDonald to answer that one.
Trustee Bartlett, since you weren't here when we initiated the project, what we did initially, because we hadn't used Banner before, is we had Illusion, who owns Banner, as the primary installers. Then we had Forelli Consultants to assist. So for the Furley project, our consultants, we use them when we're implementing like our Argos reporting tool. So although we're wrapping up implementation this spring, we're moving into stabilization and post-implementation. So we're extending the contracts, and Furley, they're assisting with our report writing, they're assisting with Argos. That's a big part of what they're doing. We still have finance consultants with Furley, and we're gradually winding down some of the other components. It's our hope that we would be through with the Furley consultants, ideally early fall, but by December the latest. So as we're implementing additional third-party products, as we're trying to deliver on some of the promises that we've promised, we are extending the consultants. All this is actually still within the original project budget, so this was all planned for. We didn't want to write them a long contract without knowing the consultants, without knowing ahead of time, so we do it in small increments as they're adding value.
Okay, that makes sense. And was it Argos that was an add-on module that we needed to get in order to make our system more efficient, or there was something lacking with the base system that we received, correct?
Yes. So our base reporting tool system, one, it's not very popular, and to be honest, it wasn't ready for prime time. So we needed additional functionality, so we're implementing Argos.
Okay.
And
I
that's
think
what
a
a lot
number of community colleges have implemented Argos as well.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I know this is covered under item 10.4 as well, so we won't have any further comments. But thank you for the explanation. I'll move the item.
Second?
It has been moved by trustee Bartlett and seconded by trustee Milchiker. Let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote, with the student trustee also voting yes. Okay, we're now to 9.14, trustee Prendergast, sorry.
Yeah, so Chancellor Gable, I got an email response through the channels of the Chancellor on my question on this, but I kind of wanted to hope you could explain it to the board as well, and maybe hearing it verbally, I'll be a little more understanding. But as I read it, I understood it as like, our pension fund is doing great, but if we move it over here, it'll do even better. But moving it over here goes into my spidey senses go off, because I was around when the Orange County treasurer defuncted, and I get nervous when I see money of this caliber going into what was grossly mishandled in the 80s and early 90s. And just want to be assured that we're not setting ourselves up for a colossal failure.
Well, I can't guarantee what the treasurer's going to do, but I also was around during the 90s during that Orange County bankruptcy, and I was having to, working at a district, having to validate every single check that we wanted to issue. So I never want to have to go through that again. What we're doing here, this is with our Pension Stabilization Trust Fund. So it's not the OPEB. It's the much smaller trust. And okay. What it is allowing us to do is to currently, when we have the authorization for basic aid to provide the funding for the Pension Stabilization Trust Fund, we get that authorization for the fiscal year. We hold the money in the county treasury and the unrestricted general fund until we determine how much we're going to need to spend out of that before we transfer it to the actual trust fund. So we're already holding the money in the unrestricted general fund. What we're not doing is calculating the interest that we're earning in the unrestricted general fund and moving that money to the trust as well. By creating this separate fund within the county treasury, we'll be able to move the funds on July 1st, once we do the adopted budget, so maybe August 1st or September 1st. And then those funds will earn interest in the county treasury and continue to accumulate. And so then when we move it to the trust fund, we could potentially have more money that we're moving above and beyond the allocation that we've made out of basic aid. And so that interest income, so it's kind of allowing us to try to grow the fund at the same time that we're still monitoring our cash flow needs for what we're going to be paying out for those particular expenditures.
Okay. Trustee Pendergrast has moved, seconded.
Second.
I'm sorry. Lisa? Trustee Bartlett has seconded it. Is there any other discussion? Pretty important one. Okay, let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with the trustee voting yes as well. Okay, that concludes the consent calendar. We're now to number 10, Business Services, Vice Chancellor Dr. Anne Marie Gable. 10.1. Is there any, do we have a motion and second, please?
Move the item.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Bartlett and seconded by trustee Dack. Is there discussion? Okay, let's vote.
Pretty clear.
The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with the student trustee not only helping technology, but voting yes as well. 10.2, authorization to enter donation agreement for Irvine Valley College Student Services Center 220.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by trustee Jamal and seconded by
The student trustee.
Yeah.
Leonard.
I'd like to say, you want to say something first?
I do. Well,
I'd like to say something second.
Sure.
Okay, yes.
Well, this item is related to the naming of the new EOPS Resource Center, the Bill Hewitt EOPS Resource Center. So some of you may know, but some of you may not know Bill Hewitt and his wife Pam. So I think almost every member of this board, maybe except for the newer ones, know Bill. I can't think of anything more appropriate than naming the center after him.
Mm-hmm.
He's had such a significant impact on this district, very involved in the faculty association back in the day, and stayed very engaged on both campuses as a counselor, I believe, both at Saddleback and IVC. And I think I met Bill in 2011, I think, when I first met him, and decided was considering a run for office. And I think there's several things you can say about Bill, but one of I think the things that stand out for the purposes of this meeting and this naming is that he loves community colleges. And I think that comes out in his everything that he does every day. And I think in fact, how he got started is really the genesis of who he became. And he's in some challenging times right now in terms of his health, but I think we've been very fortunate to have Bill as part of the district, and then later on being very engaged in the foundation, the IBC Foundation. I don't know if they're here tonight, but I believe he became president of the foundation for a period of time. So I think this is really a great day for the district, and in particular for Irvine Valley College, to name this center after for Bill. So this is a great item to move forward today. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Milchiker.
I just want to thank Bill and Pam Hewitt for donating $100,000 to IVC to name the EOPS Center in Bill Hewitt's name. Bill Hewitt was a very long time counselor and working very hard in transferring students and helping students. I remember many, many years he would come to the EOPS Christmas party and be Santa Claus, dressed as Santa Claus. He was a huge supporter of the college and a huge financial supporter of the college and supported the college in every way. And this is really fitting that they're making this huge donation to name the EOPS Center in his name. And it'll be a lasting legacy to him and to our college. And we thank him very much for this. We really thank him very much. What a great man and a great wife. And I think they met each other at Irvine Valley College, I believe.
I didn't know that. I'll add to that. Bill and I were on the Community College Association board at the same time, and he taught me how to read the budgets, which
good at that.
it was a good thing to learn how to do. There's a tremendous amount of money, and we're very grateful. Everybody that's involved in the foundation is grateful for that, and it's just so fitting because he when I was going to run for office the first time. We went into his office in the student services, and there were many people there that I knew, and I didn't even realize that's where they worked. But he has contributed through so many of the organizations, and this is very fitting. He also, I think this is public. Is it public? It is now. It's going to be. That's what I thought. I couldn't quite remember. He is receiving one of the 2 awards at the marvelous gala that we're going to have on March 6th. And he will, despite his recent challenges, he will be there to receive that honor as well. So, thank you. Anything else? Okay, let's vote. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote, with student trustee also voting yes. 10.3, cost share agreement between 9 community-supported basic aid districts and award of professional services agreement for legislative advocacy services, School Services of California Incorporated. Do we have a motion? It's been moved by trustee Jamal.
No.
No. Trustee Prendergast. And seconded by?
I'll second for sake of discussion.
Seconded by trustee Bartlett. Discussion?
Yes. So I just wanted to point out we made this decision a while ago because we came to the realization that, before it was, I believe it was MGI was representing us in Sacramento and DC, and they also represented districts that were not basic aid. And so there was a conflict of interest. So we had to reach out and find another organization that would represent us just for basic aid. And because School Services does that for K through 12 districts that are basic aid, it was a perfect fit for us to have a separate group that would protect our status when some of the other community colleges that don't have basic aid gang up and try and take away our categorical funds and other things. So I fully support this item.
Thank you. Trustee Bartlett?
Okay, and I thank trustee Prendergast for answering my questions, because we have a legislative advocacy team here for our district, and I was just wondering what the differential was, but you eloquently stated the reasons for it, and it makes perfect sense. And thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Then let's vote, please. Motion carries on a 7-0 vote, with student advisory voting yes. 10.4, SOCCCD Amendment Number 6 to Agreement with Farilli. Is there a motion?
Move the item.
Trustee Bartlett has moved. Is there a second? Trustee Rydell has seconded. Is there discussion?
No, we've
Let's
already
vote,
had the
please.
discussion.
Yeah. So let's vote. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote, with trustee also voting yes. Student trustee also voting yes. 10.5, SOCCCD Irvine Valley College Parking Lot 7 Renovation Project, award of bid number 13382-2025.
Second.
Gilman Builders, Inc. It has been moved by trustee Jamal and seconded by trustee Bartlett. Thank you very much. Any discussion?
It's well done on getting a competitive bid. And incidentally, my diligent is constantly just crashing down. Yeah.
It did a while when I was reading the
Yeah.
agenda. It did a few times. I had to start all over
Almost,
again.
it's been happening like every few minutes, but
We pull up an exhibit and then we want
Exactly.
I have to keep
Yeah, that's what
reloading.
happened to me.
I have to keep reloading. I think it's happening to all of us.
It happened today
Yeah.
a number of times.
Yeah.
It
It's all right,
crashed.
well, let's vote, but
Okay.
it's happening.
let's, we've had our
I
all
didn't
at the
bring it
same
up. You
time
brought it up.
discussion.
I had to start
Okay,
looking
let's
at
vote,
exhibits,
please.
yeah.
Motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student trustee voting yes. 10.6, SOCCCD, Award of Architectural Services Agreement for Irvine Valley College Student Activity Center Project HPI.
Move the item.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Bartlett, seconded by trustee Dack. Is there discussion?
I have one
Yes.
question too. Are you going to go first?
I had,
You can go first, okay?
I guess for Anne Marie, does this go to you? So, I want to make sure I'm reading this correctly. So you have the number 2 bidder scored higher in their evaluation and then is proposing a more reasonable fee. Unless I'm reading this incorrectly, I think they scored a bit lower in the interview, but their evaluation score on their written proposal was about the same percentage higher than their interview score was below the winning bid. I'm just curious, why did we go with HPI instead of Gensler?
And I have the same question because HPI architecture was chosen, and of course, we want the best architecture for our wonderful new Student Activity Center at IVC. We want the best building that doesn't have problems down the line. So it's very important to pick the best. But it wasn't the lowest
Well,
price.
I have my questions on the table.
Okay, go
so,
ahead.
Thank you.
Well, my question was, why did you choose this one? That was the same
Well,
question.
I already asked that question.
Okay, I'm asking
We
the
don't
same
need to ask it
question.
twice, so go ahead, Anne Marie.
So as they were going through and evaluating the contracts and looking at the number of hours that were proposed by each of the firms, they discovered that the hours that were proposed by Gensler were much lower than the hours that were proposed by HPI. And the hours that were proposed by HPI were more in alignment with, based upon our team's experience, what they expected that the hours should be. So I think the fear was that the Gensler proposal was too low and that we would be seeing ad services after if we entered into that contract, whereas we're not expecting that with HPI because we felt that Gensler underjudged how many hours were necessary for the job that is being proposed.
So, with respect, and I'm sure you went through a rigorous process, but that was to make, it seems you made a leap there, and I would hope you would have engaged with the number 2 bidder and asked them about the hours allocated, because maybe they're more efficient. Maybe they're using AI to be more efficient. Like, maybe that's why the hours were significantly less than the winning bid. I think it just really stands out, and I think I did see the reasoning under the asterisks at the bottom that you made, but they're a very experienced firm, so it'd be unusual for them to make such a significant underestimation of time put in. So just whatever due diligence you did, I hope you did engage with them or your team in understanding why they proposed the hours they did, because it is a significant cost, would be a significant cost reduction to us.
Right, and I will look to, I think, Executive Director Jerome or even Executive Director Ephraim to see if they have any insight on that.
Good evening, trustees. So in our evaluation process, what we did consider was the whole committee together was considering the right size for the 2-part scope on the project. And the committee unanimously was looking at, because if you notice, there are other firms that have underquoted as well, quite a bit. So we were trying to understand where the right hours of engagement would be for the scope. So based on the committee's experience on how many hours for a typical engagement like this would take, the determination was made that HPI gave the right size proposal. But if you look at the hours as well, and you compute it against the hourly rate, they are very close or almost comparable in terms of hourly rate per hour for the price that they have quoted, HPI did. So we did a deep dive analysis on their hourly rates, and in comparison with the total hours of engagement, we felt strongly that HPI was the most qualified from a price and qualification perspective.
So can I ask, I don't want to micromanage, but it really stood out, this one. When you had, you have the interviews, and I assume going into the interviews, you have the written proposals, correct? So you're able to ask questions about them, including hours they're proposing, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the hours, Trustee Jamal. I think the committee looked at experience from all the entities that submitted a proposal, and HPI is also a firm that the committee believed had experience within community colleges as well. So it wasn't just, I think it was an overall assessment of the firms.
Okay. Do you have any more?
Questions?
Huh?
I love the way business services works. This one is not sailing very well with me, but, no one's perfect, so.
Okay. Trustee Bartlett?
So to get to Trustee Jamal's point, and I completely understand where you're coming from, when you've got two firms, they're ranked highly, but there's a huge difference with regard to the amounts that they're proposing, and sometimes when you get the lower, you take the lower bid, thinking you're getting a better deal, then you get change orders, which is always problematic. But one thing I requested, because you said you estimated the number of hours that were reasonable, and one thing I requested before is to put in engineer's estimate of hours. So that way we know going into this, what you're anticipating as being reasonable of the hours that need to be performed, so that we can gauge from a trustee perspective, okay, here's what staff's saying is the number of hours for this particular contract. And then the proposals are coming in above or below that, but at least we know what to, we kind of level set expectations and we know what to look for. But I'm not seeing that, any kind of estimate on this. So you're saying that you had an estimate and you felt that HCI was more in line. What was that estimate, a number of hours versus the Gensler? Just so we have a basis for comparison.
Right, so I think as Priya mentioned, it's the experience the committee had within the project, but we don't have the engineers on board as of yet, and so they're actually gonna be under the architectural firm, and so that, they come after the fact. So the estimates that you're talking about, Trustee Bartlett, usually come in handy for the bidder's estimates that they provide estimates for the contract later on. But right now, we're working to those numbers.
And I understand that, but
Right.
I know when Trustee Jamal asked the question.
Right.
Before, you said, well, the HCI was more in line with what we were thinking. So there was an estimate in what you're thinking, but it's not produced here in writing, so we don't have a basis for comparison.
Right. We don't have that number right now with us, Trustee Bartlett, but the committee's experience, I think they met, and we don't have that right number with us right this second.
Okay, it would be helpful if we could get something in the future so that we don't have the Q&A from the dais, and we've got some factual information to base our votes on. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else?
I have a question. This is for you again. I'm really sorry. Gensler, I've heard his name since I came on the board. And how many projects has he done between us and IVC?
Oh,
More projects than anyone else on two campuses.
they have done quite a few. I don't know that I would be able to tell you how many. I know they were on Saddleback at ATEP. They helped us with our strategic plan just recently. They have done.
The IVC, SSC, SU
Right,
project.
they're currently on the IVC, yes.
Right. They've done a few.
But I do remember that you always came back to us for another 10%, another 5%, and it was with Gensler. I mean, I'm not trying to favor anybody, but I remember thinking, if you're going to say how much it costs, then do it for how much it costs, and you take the the problems that you didn't realize. So it's an obvious difference here. And I don't know if you should investigate how many hours and recalculate, but I trust our committee that does this. I don't know what to say.
Let me just ask a follow-up. When is the contract supposed to commence?
Well, it was going.
They already started their work?
No, they have not started because we haven't awarded. So yeah, I was going to say, if the board would like to pull this item, we can bring it back next month and we can provide that deeper dive into the number of hours that was proposed for between HPI and Gensler. I know it was a dramatic difference. Unfortunately, we don't have that information with us tonight. So we can put that in the write-up if the board wants to pull this and bring it back.
Yes.
So I still want to kind of hear, I don't think I heard the answer to one of his questions was, did we go back to Gensler and go, hey, your hours are grossly under what we think it is. Do you have an explanation why? And give them that opportunity to, I don't know if you let them rebid, but to clarify why they're so low and say, hey, we have concerns that in the past, you've given us a low bid and then you come back for change orders and it's been noticed. And,
Right.
I just
And
feel
I
like,
don't
I don't know
know.
if that's part of the process. And I, again, don't want to micromanage it, but the way I'm hearing it, I didn't hear that answer as to, did we give Gensler an opportunity to kind of explain why their hours were so much lower?
And that's where I'm looking to my executive directors to answer that for you, because I do not know that answer.
We did not go to Gensler to discuss their rates because we invited them for the interview process. We asked all the clarification questions, and based on the committee's understanding and their evaluation, it seemed HPI, we did negotiate with HPI pretty intensely and got their rates lower and right-sized their contract with the pricing, but no, we did not go to Gensler. That is typically not our process to go back to the second lowest or the third lowest unless our negotiations with the first, the preferred or the recommended first is we fail the negotiations.
I guess that makes sense in a normal situation, but this appears to be not normal. It comes across as, I mean, if you're going through the process of the interview and you're like, hey, we're looking at this and our experts say that it's gonna take twice as much as what you said, how are you feeling you're gonna be able to do it in this timeline? And give them the opportunity to explain how they think they're gonna do it, and then your experts can go, oh, well, we didn't think of it that way, or, you guys are way off base. I mean, yeah, it's creating consternation that
Yeah.
I think is unnecessary if there were, I think, a better explanation why we're willing to pay double in price.
Right. And I apologize for that. So can I ask the board to pull this item and we'll bring it back next month with further information?
I move we table the item till next month.
Yeah, but
I'll second that.
can I just make one quick comment? I think there are highly reputable firms here, HPI included. So that's not an issue with me. I believe that they're all, or not all, many of them are well regarded. I don't think we should be saying things like, well, we know Gensler is going to upcharge or send change orders. I don't think that's appropriate. We don't know that to make that assumption. So I don't agree with that comment. But I think there are a lot of reputable firms here.
And I agree with that. And to clarify, I said sometimes, and I wasn't pointing at Gensler, that firms intentionally underbid and then they have change orders. But not, Gensler's a very reputable firm, and I'm not using them as an example here. But when you take a look at, if staff looked at the proposals and said, wow, they're extremely low on number of hours, and they're not to exceed fees for phases 1 and 2. So let's give them a higher proposal evaluation score than we gave HPI. Something doesn't make sense. I'm not connecting dots there. If you knew that they were low and it didn't make sense with the number of hours that would be required for phases 1 and 2, then why would you score them higher than you scored HPI? I don't know, I'm not following the logic.
Chancellor?
I think it's duly noted, all of the comments that the board is making. So it seems like obviously the top two were neck and neck with the proposal, but when the interview score, it flipped. And then obviously one is lower than the other. And it sounds like from the team, there were a lot of factors and we don't have all of the information. So it sounds like we can perhaps have the board, choose to pull it and the team could come back with more information.
There's a motion to table. Does that suffice?
And there was a
Right.
second, I second.
Okay, will that take care of this situation? To table it and come back next time? Okay, so it has been moved by trustee Prendergast and seconded by trustee Bartlett to table this until March. I think we've had the discussion. Can we vote, please? The motion carries 7-0 with student trustee also voting yes. Okay, 10.7, SOCCCD Culinary Arts Kitchenwares for Saddleback College at
We have
ATEP.
to start over on every agenda item.
Move the item?
Second.
It has been moved by trustee Dack and seconded by trustee Leonard. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote on 10.7, please. The motion carries 7-0 with student trustee also voting yes. 10.8, SOCCCD Award of Professional Services Agreement for Work Orders, Door Hardware, and Key Consultant Services, Freight Tech, Inc. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
It has been moved by trustee Jamal, seconded by trustee Bartlett. Is there discussion? Okay, let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote, with student trustee voting yes as well. 10.9, SOCCCD Adopt Resolution Number 2603, Sumitomo Electric Light Wave as the district-wide standard for fiber optic cabling systems.
Move the item.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Bartlett, seconded by trustee Dack. Any discussion? Vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student trustee also voting yes. 10.10, SOC, Adopt Resolution Number 2604, Panduit as the college standard for network infrastructure at Saddleback College.
So moved.
Second?
It has been moved by trustee Dack, seconded by trustee Bartlett. Discussion? Okay, vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote with student trustee voting yes. 10.11, SOCCCD Adopt Resolution Number 2605, CommScope as the district standard for network infrastructure at Irvine Valley College.
So moved.
It's been moved by trustee Dack. Seconded by trustee Leonard. Discussion? Vote, please. Okay, we'll now move, motion carries 7-0 with student trustee voting yes as well. We're now on to Human Resources, Vice Chancellor Dr. Cindy Viscachill. 11.1, Academic Employees and Management Personnel Actions, Ratifications, Regular Items.
No changes.
No changes.
Move the item.
Second, and I have a comment.
I do too.
Okay, it has been moved by trustee Bartlett, seconded by trustee Jamal. Trustee Jamal, comment, please.
So Robert Melendez was very articulate at the beginning of the board meeting in lauding the career of almost, 34 years of Lisa Alvarez. And very well done, by the way, very well deserved for her. She's one of these people that when you go to the IVC campus is sort of magnetic. Everyone is drawn to her. And I was as well as a trustee. I didn't get to work with her on a day-to-day basis like the faculty and the classified and the administrators, but I saw that the impact she had on IVC, the Faculty Association, and as I've commented in the past, her relationship or office mate also with Roy Bauer and her contributions to Dissent the blog and over the years. And I remember when we paid tribute to Roy, it was Lisa who reached out to me when I was board president, and she was invaluable in providing insights about Roy and his career and his biography. And I see the way she conducts herself, and I think I mentioned at the last board meeting, she was recognized as one of the top 100 most influential people in Orange County. And so her impact was not just on the campus of IVC, which was significant, but on the community at large. And so I don't know that we'll ever be able to replace her, and I agree with your comments at the beginning, and I wish her all the best, and perhaps we can get her back here before she retires, I think in May, and provide an appropriate send-off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Milchiker?
And I also have something to say about two people that are retiring, and one of them is Lisa Alvarez, and I'll try not to repeat what wonderful words that Faculty Association President Robert Melendez said, or my board colleague Tim Jamal said. But as he said, he mentioned at the board meeting, Lisa was named in the Orange County Register as one of the 25 most influential people in Orange County this year in 2025. And what it said was, for 33 years, Alvarez has taught multiple generations of students at IVC. In the midst of her final school year before retirement, Alvarez published her first short story collection, Some Final Beauty and Other Stories. And I bought the book and her other book, and it was just wonderful, beautifully written poetry and prose. She was a very strong supporter of the Puente program, and I've been to some of the meetings of the EAR, the literary magazine, and I've been to some of those meetings where everyone spoke and the students spoke. The EAR is a very famous IVC literary publication. She was a strong champion of students and staff. She was given the Faculty Award of Excellence at the IVC Gala 2 years ago, and she was the keynote address at the literary luncheon, AUW Literary Luncheon in Laguna Beach, about her recent book, Some Final Beauty and Other Stories. And I recommend that book highly to everyone. So she has just been a monumental figure, just an incredibly strong and wonderful woman that has really made a difference at IVC over all these years. And I know we haven't seen the end of her. I know she's going to continue to help us. So really thank you, Lisa, for all your years of almost 34 years of service for IVC. And the other person I'm mentioning is Ben Reben Guzman, the registrar for IVC for 23 years and 3 months. And I had some dealings with him as well. A very, very dedicated, strong person that really made a difference in students registering at IVC. So we're losing some very good people. But when I see people walking around, they say, "Who are these young people walking around?" And they're our new faculty members. So it's a whole different ballgame, all new people, and we welcome the new people. But we're really thankful for the many years of service the former people have given us. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? What beautiful tributes. I hope she's watching.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's time to vote. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote. 11.2, classified personnel actions, ratifications, regular items.
No changes.
Move the item.
Second.
It has been moved by trustee Bartlett and seconded by trustee Dack. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote, please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote. 11.3, Annual Report on First-Year Probationary Faculty Recommended for Continuation of Tenure Track Status.
So moved.
Second?
It has been moved by Trustee Dack and seconded by Trustee Bartlett. Discussion? Okay, vote please. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote. 11.4, Annual Report on Second-Year Probationary Faculty Recommended for Continuation of Tenure Track Status.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved by Secretary. It's been moved by Trustee Dack and seconded by Trustee Bartlett. Any discussion? Let's vote. The motion carries on a 7-0 vote. 11.5, Annual Report on Fourth-Year Probationary Faculty Recommended for Tenure.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 folks in the audience. I just want to let you know. We have Megan Martin. There's Megan.
Stand up.
Chris Stillwell. Travis Ames.
Yay.
Matt Yurko. And Jeremy Gladstein. Is it Gladstein?
Congratulations, all of you.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't voted yet.
You
Time
know
to
what? I
vote.
want to make a comment.
Let's do a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I'd like to make a comment.
Okay, it's been moved by Trustee Milchiker and seconded by Trustee Prendergast. Trustee Milchiker, a comment?
Well, first of all, I want to thank these newly tenured faculty members for coming to the meeting, and we want to honor you, and we welcome you. I think the most important thing that trustees can do is make sure that we hire the best and the brightest faculty members and let them just do their job and just give them the tools to do their job and just let them do their job. And I've seen the faculty members at these colleges just pour their heart and soul into teaching the students and helping the students succeed and just working day and night to really prepare their students for a lifetime of success. And this helps the students, it helps the community, it helps everyone. So just kind of brings a tear to my eye when I see how hard everyone works. And I know that we work very hard to hire the best and the brightest, and you have to go through 4 years until you get your tenure. And that means that you'll be with us for hopefully 25 years or many, many years. And we wish you good wishes and know that you're going to do the best for our students, and we really count on you. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Any other comments? Now it's time to vote. The motion carries. Would you all stand up again, please? Yay. Phew. Okay, number 12, Educational and Technology Services, Vice Chancellor Dr. Christopher McDonald. Okay,
Move the item.
okay, it's been moved, seconded?
Second.
Been moved by Trustee Bartlett and seconded by Trustee Dack. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's vote, please. The motion carries 7-0 with student trustee voting yes as well. Information items. 13.1, Quarterly Financial Status Report. 13.2, Legal Fees Report. 13.3, Monthly Financial Status Report. 13.4, Retiree Trust Fund. 13.5, Pension Stabilization Trust Fund. 13.6, Quarterly Investment Report. 13.7, Basic Aid Report. 13.8, Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College Speakers. And 13.9, Annual report on third-year probationary faculty continuation of tenure track. Okay, we are now up to 14, which is our oral reports from leaders, managers. So Chancellor Barnes.
All right. The last month has been absolutely beautiful and crazy. There's been so much going on, but I do want to give it to the trustees. We had 6 trustees and our student trustee in Sacramento advocating for our students and our colleges and our district, and they are just wonderful advocates, and I really believe that they've made an impact there in Sacramento, but also in Washington D.C. We had 6 trustees also in Washington D.C. Making sure to advocate for our students. And you heard a lot about what they talked about, but really we had a really wonderful delegation. There's just so much distraction here. I don't know what to do. All right. So obviously, there's a lot of celebrations going on. I know our faculty took out, but I also wanted to congratulate our newly minted tenured faculty. That's beautiful. I've also had the opportunity to engage with many employees through the Excel Academy, where I had an engagement recently, and as was mentioned today, I was able to join the classified professionals for the Lunch and Learn at Irvine Valley College, which was really wonderful. One of the things, and I see I have less than a minute here, but one of the things that you all said loud and clear when we established our new strategic plan was that students matter, but so do our employees. But at the end of the day, people matter. And so so here we have newly minted faculty and others, but one of the things I wanted to point out is that our strategic plan elevates climate and culture for both students and employees, and there's a distinct focus and need. Here we're gonna have newly minted faculty members spend the next 30 years with us, like many of you, just like Lisa. And I wanna say that I'm mindful of that, and so is our board, and so are all of you. So you're gonna see a lot of work happening with regard to climate and culture. And I'm sorry, I kinda got distracted, because they kinda took my time, so I'm gonna go over, because I hardly do that, right? I do wanna do a shout out to, speaking about celebration of employees, this is important. Just got back last week from ACA, the Association of California Community College Administrators, and our wonderful Dr. Viscachil and our faculty association under the leadership, of course, of Robert, but also when we had, I think it was Claire and also Louis Long, went through rigorous negotiations, and as part of the Title V regulation, put into our CBA the fact that our faculty members would use classroom-level disaggregated data as part of the evaluation process. And when they saw gaps, do something about it. We're the only district of the 73 districts in the state, and we are the leaders in this. And so I want to give it to Dr. Viscachil and the FA and the faculty for ratifying also the CBA. We are known as leaders. So they just won this statewide award, our FA and Dr. Viscachil. So congratulations to our faculty and to Dr. Viscachil. And I had so much more. There's just so much going on, but it's beautiful work. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. Dr. Hernandez?
Thank you. I want to congratulate our women's basketball team under the leadership of Coach Claire Goki, who finished the regular season with a 24-4 record and winning the Orange Empire Conference Championships.
Yay.
IVC earned a first-round bye in the 3C2A Southern California Regional Playoffs and will host a second-round game on Saturday, February 28th at 7 p.m. at the IVC Gymnasium. Also, I want to congratulate Coach Goki for being nominated as OEC Coach of the Year. Equally impressive, our men's basketball team, led by second-year coach Jason Garay, also qualified for postseason play in the 3C2A Southern California Regional Playoffs. They will compete in the first round at Moore Park College tomorrow and if they advance, they will travel to Cerritos College on Saturday for second round. So congratulations to both programs for their focus on student success and representing IVC with excellence, determination, and discipline. And then lastly, congratulations to the 8 faculty members from IVC who have completed satisfactorily their 4th year and that were not just recommended, but now officially approved for tenure. Syed Hassan, Danilo Caputo, Shelby Clatterbuck, Mateo Girardet, Heather Johnson, Gochi Kasiki, Ruby Pastrana, and Kristen Sconsby. Felicidades.
Thank you. Dr. Stern?
I want to highlight a couple things from my written report. First, I want to thank and acknowledge the nursing programs at Johns Hopkins, Duke, University of Pennsylvania, and University of Michigan for giving us a good run for our money. But once again, for a second year in a row, Saddleback's nursing program is #1 in the country. And I want to say, it's #1 in the country. We're not data dredging when we do that. It's #1 in the country based on national board pass rates. And what does that mean? This is the exam that tests the preparedness for our nurses to be good nurses, to have careers. There isn't a better metric we could use to assess the effectiveness of our programs than board pass rates. And indeed, that is cited by U.S. News World Report that cites those other programs as being #1 in the country for a variety of reasons. We're very proud of that status and can't believe that they did it for a second year in a row with 100% pass rates. So we're very proud of them. The second thing I want to highlight is related to athletics, but also not just their prowess in performance, but also their prowess in academic performance. As you saw in my written report, both our women's soccer and our men's soccer team were awarded by 3C2A the award of scholar teams, meaning that they all achieved requisite GPAs to show that they play to be successful academically, not academics in order to play, and we're very proud of that. And finally, for my report tonight, I want to thank Chancellor Barnes for allowing me to stand in for her on an AI tour in Silicon Valley last week as she was busy with conference presentations. I was able to see some of what the future looks like at some of the tech firms in Silicon Valley, and I came away feeling very excited and optimistic about the future. But one thing I will comment on is that what really impressed me was how many of the groups who were doing those designs were thinking about us as human beings and what it means to do our work and what it means to be successful with our students, not just to increase productivity and potentially lose jobs, but to be better at what we do and to be more human in our jobs. So very excited about the future, and those tenure candidates, those tenure awardees, they include some of the people who are doing the most advanced work in AI adoption and adaption. So we're very proud of them and proud of the future. Thank you. Sorry to go late.
Okay. Dr. McDonald?
No report.
Okay. Dr. Viscachill?
Robert, I'm sorry I didn't bring our award down. Apparently Anne Marie has a award here. So I'm sorry I didn't bring ours down, Robert, but thank you and congratulations.
Dr. Gable?
Yes, thank you. So I do have an award that I wanted to show the board tonight. Last week on February 19th, Medhani Ephraim, Mary Opal, and Matt Blitch from our facility department attended the American Council of Engineering Companies to be there with P2S LP to accept the 2026 Engineering Excellence Award for the work that P2S did on SC at ATEP. So they did get the award, and then here's the little picture of all of them. If you've seen it on social media, it has been put on the district's.
It's upside down.
Is it upside down? Thank you.
Stranger
All right,
things.
there. Anyways, so I just wanted to let the board know that the engineering work for SC at ATEP did win a design award.
Thank you. Lots of awards. Wonderful. Well, unless there's an objection, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.